Hey y'all, so here's a video on 3 ways that will help you win a competition. So let's say you're a young musician just starting out, you haven't done a competition before, you heard about something on the radio, you saw something on the billboard, or you saw an opportunity on TV, and you want to seize that opportunity. And that opportunity was that if you win this competition, you win a lot of money, you get this prize, you get this new instrument. You know, competitions can be great. I mean, the prize is usually great. It's good exposure. So why not compete? But, you know, for some of you, competitions aren't your thing because you're scared. You don't think it's right for you. You don't think you can do it. You think you have to have some kind of gene, some kind of neurological, pathological pathways that make you stand out from the others. I'm here to tell you that that is not true. What you need are the tools to succeed in doing these competitions. Now, from my experience, here's a disclaimer. I'm not a doctor. I don't have a medical degree. I don't know the physiological, psychological, neurological reasons why people come on top and why some people don't. I only know from experience, and only from experience, of working with other musicians, competing myself, and just observing from watching competitions as the audience member. Here are 3 solutions to winning a competition. So, number 1. All right. Research. God, I hope you can see that. Research. So, sorry if you can't see that. There's a glare on this thing. Research is very, very, very important to preparing for a competition. Let's say you're playing Mozart. Or let's say you're playing a romantic composer, Beethoven. When you're competing, the judge is 99.9% probability-wise, going to listen for how well you know the style of music. For example, if you play Mozart, and you're playing Mozart in the romantic style, that may count against you. If you're playing Beethoven and you're playing Beethoven in the style of Mozart, that may count against you. So I suggest you do number 1, your research before practicing those hours and hours and hours on that piece of music, because I don't want you to play Beethoven like Mozart, and I don't want you to play Mozart like Beethoven, because you know what happens when you do that? It's probably going to count against you. So, you know, a lot of people, when they play a competition, they're upset. Like, oh, why did the judge say I used too much vibrato on my Mozart? Well, because in the style of Mozart, maybe using a crap ton of vibrato was not necessary at all. So, number 1, do your research. Number 2, prep. Short for preparation. Preparation is key. Have you ever heard of that? Preparation is key. I'm not just talking about preparing 1 month in advance, 2 months. I think, to be safe, reserve 3 months in advance before the date of the competition. The reason why is the more in advance you prepare for a competition, meaning the more you practice that piece, the more you become the piece. I know it sounds crazy, but when you play this competition, when you play the music, you want to make it so that music sounds like it's in your bones. I'm serious. It's crazy how it sounds. But when an audience member, when a judge, especially the judge that's listening to you play, they can tell how well you know the piece, and they can tell that maybe you rushed the preparation process. You definitely don't want to. If it's just one thing, one of the most important things is you don't want to make it sound like you rushed the practice process. No one wants to listen to music that sounds like it was just put together. Oh my God. You want to make sure you know the piece from the back of your hand. You want to make sure that you want the piece to become you. Does that make any sense? It's crazy. So preparation is key. The more you prepare, the more solid, the more you can focus on actual musicality. You see, musicality is very, very important, by the way. It's a direct result of preparation. Musicality. Because the more you prepare, the more you can focus on other things. So you don't have to focus on the fingerings, the bowings, the phrasing. You can now focus on being a musician on stage. That's the whole idea. Now, let's move on to number 3. I'm going to write experience. So EXP for short. Experience is highly important when competing. In fact, this could make or break your chances of making it to the top. Now, experience. What do I mean by experience? What I mean is not practice experience. No. What I mean is performance experience. So, when you're performing on stage, I know the number one problem is nerves. You get nervous. Oh, what are people thinking about me, man? Oh my God, what if I mess up? What if I play the wrong note? That's the biggest fear. I heard it. I know that's a fear. That's a pain point. And we want to make sure when we're on stage, we want to make sure we look confident, we sound confident, and we feel good, right? So how do we not feel nervous? How do we feel like we know what we're doing on stage? What do? We get not practice experience, but performance experience. So what do I mean by a performance experience? Well, let me ask you this. Have you ever noticed that the more you perform something in front of people, the more confident you get? Have you ever experienced more confidence when you perform a piece more and more times in front of an actual live audience? I know from my experience that has always been the case, and I know from my experience of listening to others performing over and over in front of live audiences, that those people who have performed over and over in front of live audiences have gained the confidence to not worry about nerves so they can worry about the music. So, step number 3, get that performance experience so you can sound really, really, really confident. Now, before I end this as a bonus for sticking with me for the 9 minutes that you have watched this video, I am going to give you a 4th tip, which is the repertoire, right? So let me ask you this. Let me ask you a question. When you're applying for a competition, do you notice, now this does not apply to all competitions, but do you notice that when you apply for that application, there's that name, first name, last name, address in that repertoire list? Well, did you know that you could stand out simply by the repertoire that you choose, right? So let me ask you this. Don't you notice that people typically choose the same pieces? For violin, it's a Mozart violin concerto. For cello, it's the same. Maybe it's the Elgar cello concerto. For bass, oh my gosh, the Bottesini. Everybody's picking the same stuff to choose, and judges are just judging people based on the comparison between what other people are playing. So don't you notice that people are all usually playing the same thing? Well, let's change the playing game here. Let's change the playing field here. Why not, instead of choosing the same piece that everybody's playing, choose something different. Choose something that's, let's see, exotic, right? Why don't we add something really different to that list of rep that we're playing? Here's an example. So let's say you're a bass player and you're about to play your rep list. What if you had something that looked like this? Holy cow! Whoa! A Chinese piece played on double bass. Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! You know, this is great because you get people talking. People are like, "Oh my gosh, what was that?" You know, and then people start talking, and you know that raises the value of your competitive presentation. Check this out. A Persian piece. Whoa! Different from Mozart. Different from Bottesini. Whoa! It's crazy. It's crazy. You know what? I didn't tell you this, but I wrote these pieces myself. This one, which is a Persian piece based on an Iranian folk song. This one's a Chinese piece. I got this really cool one called the Irish Fantasy. What if you played something like that was different from the rest of what everybody else was doing? Can you imagine that? Let me ask you, can you imagine you changing the entire playing field if you were that one person, that only person who chose to play something different? Imagine that. Y'all, thanks for sticking around. These are the 3 main tips, or the main pillars, or whatever you want to call it, to making sure that you win that competition. And I even added a little bonus, which is to vary that rep list a bit by adding some exotic music. Now, the music I just showed you, I wrote, and not only that, but you can actually download it and play it. And you don't have to ask for my permission to play for the competition. Just download it from my website, www.xavierfoley.com. Download it. There's an email that gets sent straight to your email box, and you can download it. It's crazy. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for sticking around. I think I'll end this here. And if you're competing, if you're doing something like that, good luck. And yeah.